I'm only showing the markings as it's too dusty for the camera. I will place the sockets at the same height as the other room. I've already chiseled most of the job. It's dirty, noisy, and tedious job. You need to get to a certain depth and width for the conduit. Time to time I was checking the size of the channel and the box hole. I didn't want to make it too deep or too shallow. Looks alright. I'm taking the distance to the socket from ceiling, which is 195 centimeters. Floor has to be leveled and then thickness of the laminate and then underlay. So for now, taking the distance from the floor will not give the correct measurement. The hole has to be bigger than the socket box. So I am marking a line where the box should be leveled. In this room, I am installing two sockets. It used to only have one. I moved the location of previous socket to the opposite wall. By our plans, there will be the wardrobe, so no point for a socket. Because we are doing a massive reno, it is good time to move things around. Perfect fit. Priming with PVA 1:1 ratio to water. I think it's better to adhere with the bonding compound. I'm not using any nails or screws, just bonding compound. This should be enough as it will be surrounded in compound. As far as I could understand from those yellow clips, this socket box is meant to be for fitting into plasterboard. I am leveling it down with the same surface as the wall, or it can be inserted in a few millimeters. Leveling the socket box. After a while, when the surrounded compound hardened, I filled it in with more compound. I'm making room for the plaster. In the end, I decided to push the socket box in a few millimeters. This way the plaster will cover the edge of the box, so it will give more rigidity.
This is only temporary, and then a bond with bond coat, just holding the base.
And again, I'm not using any nails. I made few glue spots along the conduit. I'm making sure that I fill all the space behind the conduit with bonding compound. Making room for the plaster of few millimeter. I know first you put the water, but small amount it's okay. I want to add one extra socket in my daughter's room, and one socket I'll just change the place. All the MSBs in the fuse box in my house are about 5 of them, and the standard says roughly 8 to 10 sockets to an MCB with a cable of 2.5 mil square. So how many are in total? So one is coming from the MSB, and the other one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 connected to one MSB, so it will be 7. So that, I'd say that should be okay. I won't use the sockets for heavy loads. Maximum what will be, probably that's max, I'd say 300 to 400 watts. They'll be used for lights, TV, charging phones, maybe PlayStation. No heaters. So the heavier use are the heaters. In the future anyway, I'm planning to change a new fuse box, so I'll add more MCBs, 2 sockets. The second cable, I need to cut it new, so that will be roughly 240 plus the height 2 meters. That's 440, and I'll give another 60. So that will be 5 meters, roughly, maybe 5.20. Let's see. Here I have about 5 meters and 20 centimeters. Now all is connected, ready to connect the sockets. Oh yeah, don't forget to turn off the electricity before working with. That's the new cable, and that's the old one. So one socket is completely new, the other one is just moved the location. I'm just pinching the white insulation, not going all the way through. In this way you won't cut one of the 3 cables inside. Here at the end I go really deep. Anyway, you have to rip the insulation from the ends. The insulation will rip the same path you traced with the knife. The ends you can dip the knife up to the copper wire. In this case, you won't do any harm as the copper is 2.5 mm solid. Temporarily, I will install my old socket. I will need it for further room renovation. You connect the wires in correct order. Brown goes to live, blue is neutral, and yellow-green is the earth. The rest of the cable I'm pushing back. Always is good to have some reserves for future projects. The trench is not plastered yet. Socket used to be here, but I've insulated this wall and this wall I've insulated by the window. Thickness, as you can see, it's quite thick. I moved the pipes from the ground up. Now they are from the wall, more convenient. When you're laying down a laminate, it's much more easier and easier to clean the floor. And you don't see the pipe so much. It's much more nicer. And now I moved that socket from there to here. Why? Because I'm doing the whole repair now. So why not? We'll have designed the furniture. The furniture will be made, custom made. Here it will be the desk, so it makes sense. You should do her homework here by the desk, and over will be the wardrobe, and here that will be her bed, and by the bed she can plug something like phones, light, whatever. And that's why we decided to install a socket here. That's my fuse box, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 MCB fuses rated at 120 millivolts B20. I have plastered the wall, then sanded. After sanding the wall, you could not feel any transition from the old plaster and new. Wall go very smooth. I decided to wallpaper the wall to give some texture.
Health and life neutral. Так, live.
Those screw has to be tightened to a certain degree. I have never used a Torx screwdriver, but I should have. If you have one of them, better use it. Final test.